Hi, everyone. Please be aware that aside from our usual filthy language, this episode contains talk of some really dark stuff, including suicidal ideation, sexual assault, rape, and basically cult behavior and control. So if you need to skip, please do. And if you stick with us, I hope you enjoy the show. Everyone, welcome to Lomas Recap, the podcast where we are crump dancing.
We sure are. Crump with a K?
Crump with the K. It stands for Kingdom Radically Uplifting Mighty Praise.
You know what? We love an acronym. FDR said yes. Thank you.
Yes. Guys, I'm Amy Archer, and I'm here with guess who today? Meredith.
Hi. Hi, my little bestie.
Hi, girl.
Hi. I can't believe I'm finally allowed on the pod. I feel so honored.
You are. I've been begging you to come on the pod. Let's be real.
No. I've wanted to come on, so I was very excited when you said, I have a documentary. It involves cults and TikTok. And I said, sign me up for this, not the cult.
So guys, we're here today to talk about, hold on, let me get the proper title. Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult. But I want to ask you, overall, what you thought of this documentary.
It's funny because at first I know I texted you after the first episode and I was like, it's fine. Because we were generally focused on this, these beautiful white sisters. and then we pivot, which I appreciate. And then I really started to enjoy how this is much more about the limitations on helping adults that are still children, you know what I mean?
Yes.
In many ways, but also the fact that if we had better social safety nets and universal basic income and stuff, we would be able to support artists because these are very vulnerable people that are living in their cars and suddenly they can live in a house and they can do this, but they just have to start going to church, or maybe they lost their religion at some point and they're feeling untethered, and this provides community that they don't have. So I come back to, we need community and we need social safety nets.
I'm always beating the drum of we need better social safety nets.
Because that's a really big part of this, is that we don't appreciate the arts in the same way. And
You're talking to a writer, girl. Yeah.
I know, right? I always say I'm not good at things that make money.
Right.
So that part of it was really interesting. And the New York Times had a really good piece about it that was like, this is not the documentary that's really focused on all like the deep, not all the darkness, but really how you get pulled in, the effect on the families, and then what happens when you get out. And those two sisters who were Korean immigrants
Melanie and Priscilla.
That, I'm sure we'll talk about it. They have a conversation and it's mesmerizing TV. It's heartbreaking. It's painful.
I agree.
And then her conversation later, as I told you before, with her father, where she goes to Korea to talk. Oh my gosh. So
I was in my feels.
I was really in my feels. I ended up going from, I don't really know if this is that great, to, as an entire project, I really liked it. And I think it's good it was a series because it really gave us time to digest and move through it.
Yeah, I sometimes come down hard on these docuseries because I feel like there's got to be some kind of pay incentive for people to have a docuseries rather than a documentary. We just see a lot of wasted time in documentaries, but I don't think we had wasted time here.
No,
this was a complex story to tell.
Yes. Because I agree with you.
There's a lot of layers. Like the layer that I think really hit hardest for me is, you and I are both mothers, but I'm at a different stage, right? My girls are 17, almost 18, ready to fly the coop. And there's this sense of like, and you nailed it, kind of like you're an adult, but you're a child, and this lack of control, right? Like I have no idea what is going to happen this next year with my girls. No idea. And I was literally an hour ago in therapy telling my therapist the same thing. Like for somebody who likes to have control of their situation like I do, this is the scariest part of parenting that I've ever experienced.
And it's truly terrifying looking at, again, we only have the Wilkie families, like the Wilking family
Yeah.
is the main family we're introduced to, is really spearheading this effort to try to get answers, try to get help.
Yeah.
Or they're one of the people.
Mhm.
And so their daughter ends up going, both their daughters go out to LA to dance, and they have their little channel. And then Miranda gets into the cult, and Melanie, I think she's one of two. There's so many M names in this. I needed people to
There's a
change
lot of
names.
M's.
We got to
Mhm.
change names.
Mhm.
So, and she goes, you're like, it's not really for me. And then we watch her get pulled into this cult, but you see this family that by all appearances seems like a loving, supporting childhood. And they seem
Yeah.
like a very close family. I'm not saying they're perfect,
Yeah.
but to know that this girl also got pulled in,
Mhm.
it's just,
I think maybe
wow.
that's the chord it's striking in me is you can on paper do everything right. And that's why I never judge parenting by the children's outcomes. Like in other words, if I hear of a child being an addict or running away, I very rarely blame the parents because as parents you could do everything right and there could be one influence that you didn't know about or that you know what I mean that's somewhere in the zeitgeist around your kid or your kid just could want to do something and so like you have no control over that. It's a stark reminder that we have very little control over our kids.
18-year-olds cannot drink legally, but they
Correct.
can join and get sucked into a cult. That's
Yes.
fine. And it does make you think, because you're like, well, adults are adults and they should be able to live their own lives. And, could parents use any sort of control over them in a manipulating way? Perhaps, but it
Mhm.
seems real bad that your
Yeah.
19, 20-year-old could be pulled into a cult and there is nothing
Nothing.
you can do.
No.
And then even watching, I know, shocking, sexual assault is not taken seriously by
I know.
not just the police, but also just our justice system, as the
Yep.
Rolling Stones
Yep.
editor was talking about, how we just don't really have good framework for dealing with this, because
Mhm.
there are several credible stories of assault and it's nothing happens. Absolutely
No.
nothing happens to this guy. It is so
No.
hard to deconstruct a cult because of, I really think, the weaponization of the First Amendment. Sometimes I'm like,
I
why is
agree,
this
especially as
okay?
it pertains to religion.
And especially
I
if
agree.
with the finances involved, they're
Yeah.
tithing 30+% of their money.
30%.
That's insane.
I thought
This is
in
a
the Bible
scam.
the tithe was like 10%.
Oh, but then it's 10% for all these other add-ons and stuff. And you don't know any better because apparently they put money in it first and say, look at all this money you have.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I know. Sorry.
That
I
math
went
isn't
down
mathin'.
the
No,
math is,
something's up there.
I'm not
Yeah.
good at math. Math is not mathing.
All right. So we open with the story of the Wilking sisters, Melanie and Miranda. Now, had you had any exposure to these two? I never even heard of them, but what would I be doing on Dance or TikTok? I mean, I'm sitting on my couch solving murders.
So Miranda looks a lot like Julianne Hough or something, whoever dated or is the brother of Derek Hough. They're like dancers. They're on Dances
Oh,
with the
okay.
Stars and stuff. She
Okay.
looks a lot like her. I have no doubt that I have seen these people dance. I'm not really like the core audience for Dance or TikTok, but I
Right.
know I have seen some of these people.
I'm just going to say, I thought I would be skeptical coming into this about the dancing part of it. Like, come on, dancing on TikTok. They're super fucking talented.
Oh yeah.
I was impressed. I was like, I could watch this all day. Like when they have those little color coordinated outfits and they're doing the old songs. I'm like, I could totally get sucked into this.
Listen, cults are terrible, but this man has an eye for talent. I'm sorry. He's got a vision. He's a monster.
That's okay because when I was recording yesterday about House of the Dragon, I said, Damon's so hot. Yeah, he kills kids, but he's real hot. So,
listen, you got to take the good with the bad.
But he's a fictional character. This monster is not. Okay.
Fair.
So, Dean and Kelly are the parents, and we learn that this was kind of these kids, not that they were groomed for this, but this was their life from a very early age. And after Miranda graduated high school, she was like, I'm going to take off to LA. And Melanie followed a year later. And I thought, wow, 18 and they're letting these kids go to LA. Yikes. Like, I get it. And, there's part of me that's like envious of it that they can do that because I would be a nervous wreck. I'd be sitting here like, chewing my nails.
Yeah, it's really stressful. I have to bring up the least productive thing I'm going to say today, but
Okay,
I was
go.
focused on.
All right.
The Wilking girls, their bedrooms have stayed the same.
Yes, they have.
And they have all monochromatic colors. And at first I said, is this a set? Is this like fake B-roll? But then they
Yeah.
show the rooms up close.
Yeah.
It's like purple walls with the purple dresser. They have a I mean, that is
The
Pottery Barn.
chandelier light.
That is
Mhm.
Pottery Barn
It's
lighting.
Pottery Barn teen.
That is Pottery Barn money is what I'm saying. But I looked and
Yes.
I'm like, wow, she even got it
Mhm.
matching down to the
Yeah.
dresser.
Well, it's funny you say that because
I
I
don't know
have a
why.
note here about the confessionals. They're filmed with this beautiful, like, botanical wallpaper, and especially with, Melanie. She's, like, drenched in the greens, and I was like, "Wow, they have her lit really beautifully." Like, this is a beautiful aesthetically, this is a beautiful film.
And she has the green room. Oh my
Oh.
God.
Oh,
I don't This doesn't mean
okay.
anything, but I could not get over how nice and lovely these rooms looked and the fact that they have
Yes.
never changed at all.
Yeah, like, when she visits, Miranda's room in the end, it's exactly the same.
Oh, the second my brother moved out of the house, my mom was like, "Okay, this is a guest room now."
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm moving my podcast studio to Penelope's room.
You're out.
I'm all ready.
I love the
It's
name
happening.
Penelope.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Penelope,
welcome.
and her middle name is Pearl.
Oh my god, that's like the cutest name ever, but
Because
it's also like it's very strong.
we named their middle names are our grandmothers. So Samantha's middle name is Ellen, and Penelope's middle name is Pearl, after Timmy's grandmother.
That is adorable. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, it's cute. She's our little peepee. Okay, so they realized that they could be a team and they could dance together on social media. And this is like 2017, 2018. So this is kind of new, the dancing TikTok. And B Dash reaches out. His name's James. And he was huge in the crump community. And I have a little note on what crumping is. So, crumping is a global culture that evolved through African American street dancing, popularized in the United States in the early 2000s, characterized by free, expressive, exaggerated, and highly energetic movement. The people who originated crumping, this is important, saw the dance as a means for them to escape gang life.
That's incredible. It is
It's incredible.
to watch it. I mean,
It's
the
amazing.
control, but also the freedom over your body
Yeah.
it's incredible to watch.
I'm down for the crumping.
Me
Not gonna lie.
too.
Yeah. So he comes into their lives and he starts doing videos with them, and that's when they start to blow up, and he even stays with them, and then he ends up getting involved with Miranda. Like, it's clear that they're in love. So Kevin and James are big crump dancers. They blew up on social media. They performed on World of Dance in 2018, and they do like this, like, what is this called? What am I doing?
You're doing like the robot basically, but it's very funny watching you do it.
My little T-Rex arms.
Okay, you need to go back and you need to make that a video. Trust me, you're not going to be disappointed.
So they even gave Jennifer Lopez goosebumps because she was judging the world.
That's what's the
dance.
scariest thing is how these people have made it. They're really in this world. They are the real deal.
Yeah. So all these boys are working together. There's Aubrey, Kevin, James, Isaiah. It's not important to keep everybody's name straight in this doc. There's so many people.
Too many.
We'll just do the best we can. So they're all working together and they meet Robert, and he is Isaiah's dad. So, like, they're in this group, they're hanging out, and this dude's like, "Oh, I got a dad who's a pastor. You want to come and hear him preach?" And they're all like, "Okay." Robert Shin, the leader, starts manipulating these kids with scripture. He had like hours long Bible study.
And
There's
like
nothing worse I can
he
think
hits,
of.
oh God, he hits with revelations. Like he hits hard. He
Oh,
comes out big with like the hits. He comes out in the beginning and he lays it down. It reminds me of, I talk about this all the time, but Reefer Madness, the musical.
Yes.
This is my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, they're like, hey, you want to come get dancing lessons? Come back to the house. And then it's like, have you ever tried the reefer? And then, it's like, hey, just come back and listen to my cool dad, like he does like Bible stuff. And then you get it and he's like, revelations, give me all of your money.
Yes. And these kids are like, okay. Like, I can imagine they've never really heard somebody talk like this before. This is an adult. They seem to have authority. There's a lot of ethos happening. So they're like, okay, this is legit. So then we learn that they're all struggling to make money. They're struggling to make brand deals, as most artists are. So here comes somebody, like, we see this in the music industry so much with these producers who get these boy bands and stuff, right? Who was the guy from New Kids on the Block? Do you remember? You know, the dude I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking
He
about.
produced a bunch of
Yep,
boy
yep.
bands
I know
in
who you're talking about.
Florida
The
for
the
some
name
reason.
yes,
Yeah.
the name is not coming to me.
But like somebody like that, swoop in, take advantage, like it's ripe for the plucking. So he starts a management company, calls it 7M, and his wife, Hannah, becomes their talent manager.
It reminds me of, and I know you don't watch Real Housewives, but Real
I
Housewives of
don't.
New Jersey, when the Manzo boys said that they were gonna start a strip club and car wash combination, which
Oh.
honestly sounds better than a management group in a church, but you think about it, it is very hard and very tricky to come after churches and finances. And I mean, we talk
Yeah.
all the time about if churches should be taxed, given some of the things that we see happen, especially with mega churches and the way
Mm-hmm.
money is used
Mm-hmm.
for the good of God, because God needs private
God needs
jets.
money. God
God
needs
needs
money.
private jets.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, he
that's just what you
does.
need.
Do you have a problem with
Um,
that?
no, oh God, no,
Okay.
no,
All
please
right.
destroy the
All
planet.
right.
It's so
So
nice and cool this week. But you start to see this is actually a really good way of hiding the financial fraudulence. You know what I mean? Instead of just being a
yes.
normal, terrible producer, you're like,
Yes.
no, this is just, they want to tithe. This is just for the good of God. And it really, as someone who's done online creation, I laugh so much when people think I'm rolling in it for making
Mm-hmm.
any of these videos. Not that I
Mm-hmm.
am anywhere as big as any of these people.
Yeah.
It is really hard to make money. It is really hard to figure out your pricing and manage it all. And if you're a new kid, we just don't have safety nets in place for freelancers or people that want to become freelancers like this. We don't give people the skills
Well,
to
and
do
part of the
this.
problem, and I'm facing this now, is, you know, same thing in podcasting. Like people think you have a podcast and you make so much money. You don't. And I don't have access to healthcare. Like now I'm freaking out that I need to find a way to access healthcare, which I can now. I can buy off the exchange, but my whole life that was not a thing.
Yep.
Like you had to have a job that paid for your benefits or you didn't have them. So thank you, Obama.
Yeah, and eventually, yeah, we need to change that because there's so many jobs that are just not the traditional setup, and
No.
also employer-based health insurance is
Mm-mm.
bullshit. Sorry,
It is.
um, but and then you see kind of it's so easy to prey on these kids. They
Yeah.
are feeling untethered. There's an adult that's going to take care of them. That sounds
Mm-hmm.
like he knows what he's
Mm-hmm.
talking about. That is going to help them manage their career, which they can't figure out. They end up
Yep.
just getting exploited by a different person instead of exploited by the industry. Because either
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
very few of these people make it on their own because it is so difficult to understand the back end of everything.
I really believe that Gen Z is going to turn that whole model on its ear. Like they are going to make the gig economy the way of life, and we're going to need to have their needs met,
Yes,
and they're
yes.
going to do that.
I hope so
I hope so too.
because so many of us are just not made for traditional jobs, and
No.
things that are not traditional jobs aren't respected as much as if people do not need art. You know,
Correct.
as if it's
Correct.
not
Yeah.
important, which it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, don't get me started on my rant about how we're stripping arts out of schools. Don't get me started.
Oh,
Okay.
my friend.
So, a lot of these kids were alone. They were worried about making money. They needed guidance. Like you said, they found that in Robert. And Melanie tried to get on board, but she just couldn't. Miranda's like, come to church. And Melanie's like, this seems weird. You're breaking out revelations at dinner. I'm not comfortable here.
She's like, "We're like fake Catholic. We're like,
Yeah.
we get the
Yeah.
wafer and the
Catholic light.
wine, on
Easter and
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're Sienese. We're
Yeah.
Sienese."
Yeah. So, in a crowded space, these kids were trying to make a splash, and Robert seemed to help them. He even gave them a house, and they just lived in California and they produced content.
It's all
Sounds
fun
pretty
and
good.
it's all fun and games until you're told you have to die to your family. Sorry.
That is so fucking weird. What a
Whoa.
weird turn of phrase. Like, why?
Whoa.
I don't know where that comes from.
Woo.
So he tells them, let's start doing old songs. We're gonna go back to like the top 10 songs of each year and do them, and they blow up. And this really catches on. And he's getting 20% management fee and 10% tithe, but then we learn later it's 10% and 10% and 10% and 10%.
Well, don't forget the 10% man of God tithing, which is not the same as
Yes.
an offering.
Right. So they're getting commercials, they're getting brand deals. Now, Miranda's parents first know something's off when her grandfather passes away and she doesn't come to the funeral. Could you imagine?
I can't imagine dealing with the stress of that and then dealing with like what the hell is going on with my child.
Yep. So she has COVID, she says. And she's not returning anybody's calls. So they call the police because they're like, we can't find her now. And the police get a hold of Miranda. We hear audio of it. And she's like, they're just mad because I'm not coming home. Okay. At what point do you get so pissed off at your kid? You're just like, I'm done with you. I don't know.
I don't, and
It's a
that is
hard
something
answer.
very interesting near the end that I really want to talk about
Okay.
is the cycle they kind of get into, and the direction in which her sister starts to go
I
in
agree.
with this whole thing. I
It's
think
interesting.
this is like some of the best parts of this,
I agree.
really.
I agree. So now we learn about dying to yourself. This young girl, Kylie, tells us about this. She says, oh, I'm sorry, it's Aubrey. Dying to yourself means that whatever you want or whatever you need to die to it because then it will come back. What? What?
It's explained better, I think, with Priscilla, where it's you have to stay and do this if you don't want your sister and your family to
To
go to
burn in
hell.
hell.
This is the
Yeah.
only way to protect them is
Mhm.
to be essentially dead to
Yeah.
them.
To be in my church and to be my money giver, my I don't know, ward of my church. So I wrote this literally makes zero sense. This phrase is stupid. So Kylie says you have to die to your family in order to save them because if they get into heaven, if you get into heaven, they'll follow you. Okay. So now they all start cutting off their families. Kevin even died to his son to ensure his soul.
That part was so painful. But he eventually gets out of it. Like
He
he
does.
pulls himself out pretty quickly. And I think he says the son thing is where he starts having like, yikes, this doesn't seem
Yeah.
productive.
It doesn't feel right. So in August of 2021, Miranda gets married. She doesn't even tell the family. And so the parents are pissed off. They start emailing other parents, the Reynos, and their kid is called, real creative here, Reyno, and his name is Nick. And same thing, parents were really involved in his career, and then suddenly it stopped. They all meet up. They call a human trafficking hotline. And this was interesting because the woman tells them, we really can't get involved unless these adults ask us for help because what we have learned is that if we get involved it often like ups the abuse or ups the coercion inside the group, so we need them to invite us in when the time is right.
But they won't because
They won't because they're in a cult.
they're in a cult.
Mm-hmm.
It's so frustrating, and that push and pull between doing too much
Mm-hmm.
and not
Mm-hmm.
doing enough. And the Instagram live really is one of the tipping points where they talk
Yes.
about it. Can you imagine your favorite TikToker? You're like, oh, where's her sister? Oh, that
I know.
bitch, they're probably in a fight. And then she comes on with her parents. She's like, so my sister's in a cult. uh
Right, like
sorry?
you're on Reddit, like putting all these theories out. Like, oh, I wonder what they're angry about. I wonder if they're fighting over the same guy, or I wonder if and then you find out they're in like a cult.
Did you notice the part where so the pastor, we hear recording of him and Shekinah
Which
bringing
is
up
creepy.
bringing up her family, Miranda's family,
Mhm,
as the
mhm.
enemy.
Yeah.
And then interestingly, they bring up race. They bring up race as a part of it because
They do.
Miranda's husband is black.
Yes.
And I assume that Melanie's future husband is also he appears to be,
A
I don't know if
person
he's
of color,
African
yeah.
American, but a
Yeah.
person of color. Thank you.
Mhm.
And it was so interesting that they put that on there because it's also, yeah, race can play a part, and I'm not saying it doesn't. It was just very interesting how they were like, they just don't like her husband.
Right. So what happened is they go live and they're like, our daughter's in a cult, you got to help us. We hear Robert, but James is the one who says they didn't like me because I was black.
Sorry, yes,
Yeah.
that's what it was. I had it written down
It's
wrong,
so
but
weird because
it's
we
very
see video of them like spending Christmas with him. Like he was part of the family almost. Stayed with them during the pandemic. Like it was weird.
yeah, and especially given that the names, man. Melanie is also brunette's sister is also getting married to a man of color. It's
Yeah.
not that there can't be microaggressions. I mean, we all know
Sure.
what
Of
about
course.
Get Out, but
Mhm,
it
mhm.
it was very interesting how they used that as this
Yes.
is actually a color
Yeah.
thing. This is not it's not ignore the cult, ignore the little man behind the curtain.
Mhm.
You know, I found that part interesting. And when we see her parents walking to see her and she's filming everything,
Yes.
her eyes look
That comes
so
right here. They go to Detroit to meet with them and they're like she just films everything. which is
But
very disconcerting because you're
her
just
eyes look
like,
dead.
yeah, oh yeah. So Robert's talk is starting to amp up. He's getting crazier and crazier. He's making them sign NDAs at church. And Kevin, concrete, he's like, I'm not signing a fucking NDA. This guy's smart. He's smart. Never sign
Never
an
sign
NDA,
an
guys.
NDA.
No, never
No,
sign an NDA.
never do it. Have a lawyer look over it. Do not just sign an NDA.
Because you're essentially giving away your First Amendment. Do not do
Yep.
it.
Nope.
There's no amount of money Matt Sharp can give me to get an NDA out of me. I can
You
tell you
tell
that.
him.
So more shit starts to come out about this church called Shekinah, including private meetings with pastor.
We knew this was coming.
We knew this was coming. Okay. Episode 2 is called The Escape. Shekinah's in the news now, and Robert's recordings are getting wilder and wilder. And he's like, they're trying to take us down. He's really like, making it an us against them. We meet Andrea Marks from Rolling Stone. She says she started following the case after Miranda Wilkings' family went live. She started DMing the dancers. Nobody's replying. She starts reaching out to people in the comments who seem to be former members. Okay, now we meet Melanie Lee. This was fascinating. So,
Yep.
just a quick overview. Like, these sisters, they grew up in Korea. Their mother was an alcoholic. Their father left. Mom worked nights. She would come home. She would drink. She was also a gambling addict. So the older sister, Melanie's the older sister, correct? And Priscilla's the younger.
Priscilla's the older sister.
Oh, Priscilla's the older.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when they're in America, Priscilla really takes on the role as mothering.
Yes,
I'm
she's
almost
parentified.
positive I have that.
Yeah. No, I
correct.
think you're right, because Melanie was in the church first.
Yes.
And then Priscilla went into the church because so they talk a lot about, like, they just found a sense of family there because the church itself, Robert Shin and his family were all immigrants and they were immigrants, and they found a nice Korean community. And, the family practically took these two girls in, or at least Melanie at first. So Melanie convinces Priscilla to come in, and, she was welcomed immediately. So now at church, Robert has a sister named Catherine, and Catherine kind of takes these girls under her wing too. That name will be important. Melanie had a friend named Marquis, and he went a few times to the church, and he's like, it felt like it was multicultural. It actually felt like he took a lot of aspects of Black church. And so I liked it. I felt at home there. And he says, it was cute, but not for me.
Everyone needs a marquee is all I'm going to say.
Yes, we do. He shows up with a fucking bat. Like,
dude, this man is going to ride or die for you.
He's a ride or die. He's a ride or die. We learned, I didn't know this, that Robert was a medical doctor, and then the Holy Spirit touched him.
Ew. Ew, don't do that.
Did the Holy Spirit touch him like it touched Derek Merrifield?
I almost just made a Derek Merrifield joke. Damn it. God spoke to him in the garage.
So what he claimed, here's what he claimed. He said he was the only one who God touched. And so he held all of God's power and favor. And he described hell as a complete nightmare. And that if you didn't do everything he said and stay with him and close to him and in his good graces, you were going to hell. And hell would be whatever your worst sin was over and over and over and over again. So Priscilla says this got to her. And she was like, this really became my worst nightmare, like going to hell. I would do anything to avoid it. And Robert was hands off. He communicated, we have a nice MLM aspect of this with downlines.
It always comes back to MLMs.
So you were in a downline of a spiritual mentor. So this is how it was set up. So Robert was kind of off, and you had to run everything past your spiritual mentor. The audio, I have a note here that the audio recordings are just so wild and haunting.
It is wild. And it kind of reminds me of in Scientology, the auditor process where they, or whatever it's called, when they audit your,
yes,
I forget the word for it, but it's kind of also,
talking about.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we learned that Robert exploited people for labor, kept all their money. These people were hungry for God and they were poor, and he opened a bunch of businesses and staffed them. Melanie Lee worked 12-hour days, 6 days a week, and got $100 a week. Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. Priscilla ran the mortgage company, and she said they brought in over $1 million in commissions in 2021. She didn't see a penny of it. Whoa.
I am
Oh,
so mad.
I know.
This kind of stuff makes me so furious.
So here's where we talk about the money. I guess he would put the money in their accounts. So say I put, hey, Meredith, I'm going to put $100,000 in your account tomorrow.
Sure.
Don't hold me
Twist
to
my
that.
arm. Twist
Don't
my
hold
arm.
me to that.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I'm going to have you sign a bunch of blank checks. Okay. Pro tip number 2. Number 1 is no NDA. Number 2, don't sign blank checks ever.
Because as Taylor Swift said, I got a blank space, baby, and I'll write your name. Okay. He gonna write his name.
He's going to write his name. And so they just start taking out, they're writing like, oh, man of God tithe, $30,000, whatever. And eventually it drains your bank account down to 0. Why do you think he went about it this way? Like, why do you think he put it in their account first?
I think it's both a control tactic and a really good way to get people in. Listen, you're in the church, you're signing with us. We're going to give you $100,000. We're going to give you some place to live. You're going to be comfortable. You're going to be in it. Even if you're not in the 7M part of it, we just want to set you up for success and just exploiting these people. And then I think slowly you learn how much you can financially control them when you start doing this. It's like another test. Okay. Because are you going to say no to this? It's technically they gave you the money and
Yeah.
you trust them, right? Because he's going to help you not get into hell, which is your biggest fear. So money isn't even maybe even your goal,
Right.
know?
You don't care about money at this point.
No. So I think it's just one way of slowly controlling someone. And also I think, and maybe it's hard to say, well, he exploited them.
Right.
Because
that's what I'm thinking.
They gave him the money. I think he's smart, which is what bothers me.
Right.
I'm very scared because I think he might be a smart cult leader.
Right. He's like David Koresh level.
Yeah. I don't like it.
He is. So like if the situation happened, like I said, I gave you $100,000. I wrote all these checks, your signatures on the checks. How are you going to prove to the police that you didn't write that check?
That's the problem.
Because you signed it.
And why are you writing blank checks? Like, why are you doing that? You sign the check.
Right.
You're done.
Yeah. It's
don't sign blank checks.
So now we see people start leaving. So the Wilkins Live comes out. Sponsorship deals and stuff are taken from the company. Robert starts getting nasty. Daniel leaves, who was like his right-hand man for like 20 years. Chloe leaves, who's his daughter. Red flag.
That's a sign.
And Robert's like, who gives a fuck? Goodbye. And I'm like, dude, Chloe's your daughter. Okay.
Interesting too around this time that he goes, we have to actually change the strategy. It's no longer that you need to die to your family. You just need to go undercover so they don't know they're being cut off, but you know that they're being cut off because you're going to save them. Yeah.
He says, like, if you're going to die to them, you need to do it more subtly and sneakily in a way that they don't see it coming.
Like a little less dramatically.
Yep. Now we see Miranda on TikTok reading from the Bible. And she's saying she's not brainwashed and she's not in a cult. So Dean and Kelly, her parents, go and track her down. Reno's parents do the same. They literally are watching these videos trying to figure out where these kids are. They find the house. They're ringing the bell. Nobody's answering. Nobody's coming out. And this is when Robert changes the strategy. You need to meet with them in a way that they don't know they're being cut out. So we see Nick's parents. They get a text to meet him. They're so excited. His dad has a real bad toupee. What's happening there?
Oh, poor baby.
I'm going to call that the grief and trauma toupee, and I'm going to give him a pass.
Let it go. Let it go.
I'm just going to give him a pass on this.
There's no hair left on that dome. Sorry.
So they meet with him. It's very emotional afterwards. The mother said, I could tell when I was touching him and holding him that he is being very mistreated.
That is like the worst thing. And you have to let them go. Just leave.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So Dean and Kelly meet with Miranda, and they said they realized they cannot talk to her about Robert, like, at all. Okay. So now the Wilkins invite Melanie Lee over.
I loved this.
This was very interesting. They're having dinner, and they tell her, like, they're playing a game. Robert is not part of this, but they're playing his game. They're pretending he's not a part of it, but he is. And they said not having her in our lives, though, is the alternative. And that's heartbreaking. And Melanie tells them, you're driving the meter here. People are looking to you. Robert has figured out as long as you guys are seeing her, you'll stay quiet. And you need to be aggressive because Miranda is not safe. And I just wrote, Jesus Christ, this is every parent's worst nightmare.
It was so powerful, and also just the way that they are then being used in videos to prove that everything is totally fine,
Yeah.
and it's actually worse, and it's just they can't that is their weak point. They cannot do it. They just can't do it.
But Melanie is correct. She's like,
Yep.
right now, you're just perpetuating, and she's in danger.
Yeah, you are kind of not encouraging the behavior,
Right.
but there's no reason for it to change
And
because
I
there's no more
understand
pressure now.
I
Oh
understand
god, yes.
100% why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But if I were them, I would be like, "We can meet, but you're not allowed to film anything."
Yeah,
Like,
I would take
nothing
that
is
away.
being
I
filmed.
would take that away too. I would
Yeah.
take that away because that in particular is
Mhm.
selling a different story. Although now I wonder with the documentary coming out where any of that stands.
Well, she's responded to the documentary. Did you see that?
Interestingly so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, one day at service, a bunch of girls come in, and they accuse Robert of sexually assaulting them. Like, this is bonkers. Just up on the pulpit. They just jump out there, and they're like, "You sexually assaulted us." They're screaming. He admits he was soliciting favors from them. Like it's wild. And he says they seduced me and I'm a man and I struggled and I need you to forgive me. And Catherine, his sister, was the woman supporting them and she leaves and she takes all those girls with her. And I say good for you.
Okay, but Amy, can we level set?
Yeah.
King David was allowed to have mistresses,
That's true.
so
That's true. Yeah.
it
Mhm.
is so frustrating, and how low the stakes are that if a man apologizes
I
and
know.
seems humble,
I
you're
know.
like, "Oh,
Uh-huh.
everyone messes up and messes around with young girls. I mean, who amongst us?
Yeah, because
The
we
bar
don't
is so
expect
low.
anything else from men.
We
No.
don't.
It's like when I have to make my daughters change their clothing because they're not allowed to wear tight pants to school because men can't control themselves. That's
Yep.
maddening.
Yep, it's so frustrating.
Okay. So Melanie Lee says he did this to her. It always starts with the fucking massage. Pro tip number 3. If a man asks you to massage him, say no. If you can, say no.
No massaging. We need to start a list of how you might be getting pulled into a cult. I think we
No
have some
massaging.
really good tips, or just life tips, really. Just don't massage anyone.
No, no massaging. Marquis is like, when she calls him and tells him, he's like, "Oh, hell no. Mm-mm. Get my bat and I'm coming over there." And they escape and they want to take Priscilla with them, but Priscilla doesn't want to go. So Priscilla's story gets really dark here, guys. So just some trigger warnings around this stuff. We're going to talk about, sexual assault, rape, suicide. So she tells us a story about she says assaulted, but it sounds like she's being raped by him
Yeah.
regularly.
Yeah.
And she says, I would tell myself, I just need to not kill myself and I can help my family through this. This is,
Oh,
my heart is so broken for this girl.
and she's had such a hard life,
Mm-hmm.
even if everything later in life went perfect for her.
Yeah.
But then this on top of it,
Yep.
it's just so disgusting. It's just beyond. It's inhumane.
How that man is not arrested just over this.
We do not believe women. We especially do not believe immigrant women.
True. You're right. So she says that she turned to this went on for 10 years and she turned to the scriptures and she started printing them out and hanging them on her walls. She got blackout curtains. Like she was in a dark, literal and figurative place. Hannah is Robert's wife and she starts to hate on Priscilla. And one day she physically assaults her. And Robert lets this happen.
And we see pictures. We see pictures
yeah.
of broken things all over the room and
Yep.
torn up
Yep.
scriptures.
And she realized in that moment, I'd rather go to hell than to stay here.
That was the most incredible. I got chills
I
when
know.
she said that. I mean, she is so mentally and physically ill
I know.
that it is. Robert says that it's coming out of her because she is so cursed.
Yeah, so she keeps getting sick during these massage/rape sessions. And yeah, he says it's just your sins coming out. No, dude, it's fucking you.
Yeah, it's you. It's actually you. The
Yeah.
only reason I'm pulling up my phone is because I realized I had my part 3 notes on here. So,
Oh, okay.
I just didn't want you to think I was ignoring you.
No, that's okay. So, in part 3, we see Priscilla starting to kind of take her power back a little bit.
Reap what you sow
Oof.
as the Ooh, this first 10 minutes, I was
I know.
this was vigilante shit. I was so stressed
I
out
know. I
in those
know.
first 10 minutes, and it was I was folding laundry and, watching, and then I had to put everything down,
Yeah.
and I just had to watch.
So she decides she's going to sue Robert, and she and her friends are going to serve him. I did this with my first husband when I served him with divorce papers. I would not let the lawyer serve him. I drove to his house and served him.
That's incredible. Did you hear about how Rudy Giuliani was served?
No, how? Tell me.
Okay, I need to tell you the story.
Tell me.
His
Wait,
his
hold on.
80
I'm going to record this and put it in my spank bank. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, please. You're gonna need this
All
for
right.
later.
Go
It's
ahead.
definitely good foreplay. Okay.
Okay.
So Rudy Giuliani's turning 80 and they're trying to serve him with papers for, the crime that he does, the crime. And there's a deadline that they have to get them to him. And I'm paraphrasing the story from what I remember
That's
from
fine.
hearing about it on.
Nobody expects
Yeah.
facts here. Go ahead.
Okay, good. But
Mhm. Mhm.
So he kind of is like, well, no one's gonna didn't get me. It's my 80th birthday tonight. And that's how they find out that he's at an 80th birthday party. So, and where it is, obviously. So they send like a bunch of like women and stuff to the party who just mingle among the guests. And then as they are singing happy birthday to him,
Oh my God.
they
Oh my
come
God.
up and give him and serve him right before he like
Oh, I
blows
love
out the
that. Is there video of
candles.
this? Is there
There's
video?
gotta be. I'll look for it, but Rudy
Okay.
Giuliani being served on his 80th birthday because he was like, "Suckers, you're
That
not gonna
might
get
be
me."
like Obsessables worth. Him getting served.
It it's the most honestly, Rudy Giuliani's whole thing, how he managed to kill all the goodwill of being America's mayor
I know.
to
I
what
know.
he is now.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
wild.
why that might be an
Yeah.
Obsessables episode because I am pretty obsessed with that. I'm writing that down just in case.
All right. So Andrea Marks is a reporter from Rolling Stone, and she says it's hard to sue a cult because it's not illegal what they're doing. She said, well, how you bring down a cult is you report the crimes that are happening within. That makes sense to me. And so Melanie and Priscilla start diving into the finances of all these dancers, and a bunch of former members are signing on to this lawsuit. They're like, we're doing this. And like I said, he'd put $100,000 in the account, take it out little by little. But before they can sue him, he sues them for defamation. What fucking hubris, right?
It's always the thing. It's the whole just try to bleed them dry before so they drop it because it's not worth the
Yep.
legal fees.
Yep. So Priscilla's pissed. She wants to bankrupt this motherfucker. And she's going to sue him. She serves him with a bunch of her friends. They serve him in a restaurant. Andrea Marks says this group in particular can be hard to dismantle. People have tried to sue them before and they've lost. And we hear that a young woman tried to sue him and the judge said, I believe you. But there's the First Amendment and the religion thing, and I can't get involved.
Why
I know.
freedom of religion is more important than any sort of belief or justice for women. Like,
Sure.
all the time.
Sure. Yeah. So full grown adults who join a group and buy into their ideology are allowed to do so, is what they say. So Andrea Mark says what we need is a criminal case. And the Wilkings are going full bore here. They've set up a murder board.
Dude, they have red string. They are the red string GIF.
They really are. And they call a detective and she says, what we need is women to go to the police and file police reports. So we see the Wilkings now. They're talking to an anonymous woman who's been assaulted. And Kelly cries as the woman tells her story because she knows this is probably happening to her daughter.
Yep.
Could you imagine? I wrote this guy's a fucking creep.
And being powerless to stop it because they really are.
When somebody looks the wrong way at my girls or makes them upset or something, I want to go blow up their house. Could you imagine if I knew they were in a situation where they were being sexually assaulted and taken advantage of?
I feel like I'd break into the house. Like I would probably end up arrested.
Yeah. I would be like, well, never mind. I was gonna make a Game of Thrones reference. So,
Violent.
Kylie files a report, and she says to get the courage to do it, she thought of the young girls who would have this happen to them. And she says, "But they make it hard. They make it seem like nobody believes you. That's because nobody does."
They don't. They don't. And the number of false reports filed versus real
I
report,
know.
it's
I
just
know.
it's
I know.
ridiculous the way the burden of proof is in this situation, you know?
Yep. So the cops tell her one is not enough, and I just wrote, "One is enough. One is enough."
Is that wild to be told that, "Hey, your individual story, your right to
Not
not be
enough.
assaulted is
No.
not enough
We
for
need
us.
we need more
We need
corroboration.
more trauma." It's
Yeah.
like with, like, we wanna hear the worst,
Yeah.
most crushing abortion
Yeah.
stories of,
Yep.
whatever.
100%.
Ugh.
So, the anonymous woman decides she's gonna report him too. So that's 2. So Melanie Wilking now meets with Priscilla, and she asks Priscilla to file a police report. And Priscilla tells the camera, "How many fucking times do I have to tell people what I have been through?"
Yes,
She has a good point.
yeah, and she also has a really good sense that justice is not going to come in her
Mm-mm.
favor,
Nope.
and that there is some privilege in being able to go to the police and feel like they're on your side.
Yeah. So we get this sub story of Melanie and Priscilla's struggle to reconnect, which was
Wow.
so they have a dinner. And at one point, Melanie says to Priscilla, "What I need from you is communication. Like you said, you were going to help me with my daughter's birthday party, and then you showed up late." And Priscilla says to her, she says, "I am literally over here trying to not kill myself every day. And you're asking me why I'm late to a birthday party. And I don't know what it means to love a child." Like I was crying watching this. This was so painful to watch.
It it was oh my god, it was so raw that I almost
Mhm.
couldn't believe that we were privy to it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. She says, "I don't even know what it means to love a child." And then she tells the camera, "I would love children of my own, but I can't do that."
I think that's another thing too for I understand that, Melanie wants to make up for last lost time and have her
Yeah.
sister in her life and involved, and
Yeah.
it feels like almost a rejection of that, but that's not really it. Also,
No.
just not considering, first of all, the years of really therapy that Priscilla is going to need.
I really
And
hope that
then
she's getting it.
oh god, me too. That's the other problem. And just mental health services and the
Yeah.
cost.
Yep.
But the fact that Melanie got out at a certain
Yeah.
point, or Miranda
Priscilla was in it for 23
she
years.
was in it for 23 years. She's in her 40s. She
Mhm.
has lost what she feels like were the best years of her life.
Yep.
She can't have kids.
Yep.
So or doesn't isn't
Yeah.
going to have kids or
Yeah.
whatever. And perhaps even having a niece is both a joy and absolutely crushing
Yeah.
because she could have had that life if she had left
Yeah.
potentially when Melanie did.
But I think that so to a lesser degree, I think this is something we can all relate to. Like I remember going through really hard times in my life when you're really dark and depressed and somebody asks you like, "Oh, are you going to do this next week?" And you're like, "I can barely put one foot in front of the other.
Like, I don't
And you're
know.
asking me about something next week." Like I've been there. I can't even imagine. And part of me wanted to like scream at Melanie, like, "You're expecting way too much here." But you know what?
Yeah.
Melanie doesn't know either. What these two need is individual therapy and joint therapy.
They do because there's a lot obviously from childhood and the way they
Yeah.
were raised or not raised, the way Priscilla had to parent. There are so many and maybe even guilt that Melanie feels because she's the one that got Priscilla to come and then
Yeah.
Priscilla ended up and maybe there's even a part of Priscilla that maybe has anger that she believed that her sister was going to go to hell if she didn't stay. And
Yeah.
you're right, individual and sister together therapy is
Yeah.
so necessary because there's so much to undo here.
There's so much. And when you think about it too, like from Melanie's point of view, she probably feels like she lost her sister and her mother.
That is a very good point. She
Yeah.
was
And
almost
that's,
abandoned
yeah,
again.
it's like a compounding loss because she has this, she's like, "I wanted this family and I wanted to create what I didn't have." But when you have a family and you don't have your immediate family around you, that can be a very lonely situation. So,
Yes.
okay, so Priscilla meets her father.
This one got me as someone that is working through their relationship with a maybe not as absent as
Right,
this
right, right.
father, but definitely an absent father. Wow. I
It's
literally wrote some
intense.
things word for
Okay,
word.
what did you write? Tell me.
So, some of my biggest things, first of all, she sits down, she's no nonsense. He's kind of like, laughing,
Yeah.
giggling. She's like, I was in a cult for 23 years,
Yeah, she's
bitch.
like,
She
"Fuck
doesn't
you."
say bitch.
Mhm.
Yeah. But he was like, wait, it was 23 years? She's
I
like,
thought it was
yeah.
5.
It
Fuck
really,
off.
and he says, like, daughter. And she goes, do you think you have the right to call me daughter? You didn't raise me. She says, you have to raise someone to call them your daughter. And
Ugh.
I said,
Yeah.
she's not wrong. And
No.
what I really appreciated about what she said is she is now judging her parents as adults as an adult. She's no
Yes.
longer a child looking up to an adult, and that is really determining her relationship. And it
Yeah.
really felt like she was going there not to reestablish a relationship, but just to be like, hey, you really fucked me up.
I
And
I will say the
yeah,
bravery that this took.
I couldn't believe it. And she says it pretty even keel.
She's even keel, and he even tries to touch her, and she's like, "Don't touch me. Don't touch me." I was like,
It was
"Wow."
the boundary setting, and I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie, I was like, "I really needed to see that right
I
now."
know, I know, I know. No, she was so brave, and that's why I love this part of the story, because she took her power back. Because then we go from that scene to seeing her go into the police station to report Robert Shin, and she's like, "I was raped continuously for years." Okay, now we get this weird end sequence. I don't know why they take us through August, October, and December, but they do.
Yeah,
Just kinda weird.
it was weird.
So basically, we see that Aubrey is like a lot of these guys are trying to rebuild their lives, and many of them are teaching. Kylie has found like this girls' troupe that she's working with, and she's so fulfilled. And the guys are out and they're teaching and they're dancing. And so, like, everybody's trying to rebuild and seemingly doing okay, except for the Wilkings.
They are
So
stuck.
Melanie's pissed off because a few women have gone in now. It's December and he's still not arrested. And Andrea Marks says sex crimes are hard to prove and we should be taking it more seriously. It's often set up as your word against somebody else's. The Wilkins family now, we see them getting ready for Christmas. Miranda's coming and they're like, how can we get her to stay here? And mom says, maybe we could say the blizzard's coming and you need to stay. And, they're kind of brainstorming that. And then we see Melanie later and she's like, Christmas was fine, but it felt fake. And all she wanted to do was post videos to show she was with us.
It was so painful to watch them
Hmm.
perform a happy and merry Christmas, and you
Yeah.
can see Melanie slowly but surely being like,
So
"I'm
that's,
done with this
yeah. So
bullshit."
that's the thing. Like, Melanie is now angry.
Yep.
And at one point, the mother goes, maybe we should just pretend this didn't happen. And Melanie goes, haven't we been doing that all along? She's pissed
Amen.
off. She says, she has put my family through so much. And she's sobbing. And she says, if I don't have her at my wedding, will I regret that? Then we
And
see,
it really puts everyone's life on pause, and then
yeah,
what about the siblings that aren't in it?
right.
How long are you supposed to live this as your life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to move on and have your own life. And the parents are so, so stuck. Now, what also got me though, just going back
Yeah.
really
Go ahead.
quickly with we I don't know if they have proof of this, but Robert admitted to sexually assaulting young girls and Catherine left. I
Right.
don't
Where's the
understand.
proof of that? Like, can
I
we get that?
Because that seems like an established pattern, which
Right.
should help this situation.
Right.
Also, I love the idea you're like, a cult leader assaulting people?
I know.
It's
I know.
never it is so out of the blue.
Why doesn't Catherine, as his sister, go
That's
in
what
there?
I'm wondering.
Mhm. Mhm.
I I wanna know more.
Me too. We saw mom and dad Wilking watching videos of these girls when they were babies. I'm telling you right now, I was sobbing uncontrollably because my girls were just so tight as twins, obviously, when they were little. Like, they would always be like, sissy, 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 sissy. Everything was sissy. right? And they just played so cute together and everything. And I thought, what if this happened? Like, this can happen to anybody.
It really
This
could.
can happen regardless of class or race, or this can happen to anybody. What if, one of them, my little PP, ran off and joined a cult? Like, what would happen? It would be, I wouldn't even know what to do.
It
And
would
I've
really,
studied
yeah.
cults.
It's really hard to say, and I think I think one of the smart thing they did was to focus on a lot of different people's stories, and I like that while the Wilking sisters were kind of to kind of ground us and kind of
Yeah.
move the story along, we spent a lot of time on other people's stories, and
Yes. And
that was
I think that was
probably
important.
intentional,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
for a lot of reasons.
I think the reason the Wilking sisters may have been used as the framework for the main narrative was because they were the ones who did the video
Yeah,
and put
that's
it out. And
and
we
they've
needed
been
to know the
yes.
motivation behind that.
And they
And
have been also very vocal.
yeah,
Also, they are 2 really beautiful girls.
sure.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? And I think
Yeah.
that also helps to
Yeah.
get people into the stories. Also, they had a really big TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah. Like,
So
people
you
know that name.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
think but I'm so glad we moved on to other stories that
Me
were
too. Me too.
multi-layered in
Yeah.
a frustrating and
No, I agree.
insightful
I agree
way.
100%. So at the end, we learn that Miranda, James, and Nick are still in this. Nick is barely contacting his family, and they think someone else is writing his texts. And we see that Melanie is just traipsing around Miranda's childhood bedroom in the Pottery Barn catalog, saying, I hate this bitch. She's put me through so much. I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's very interesting because at the beginning, everyone is a unit on this. But
Yes.
slowly but
Yes.
surely, the parents are in one place, and Melanie's saying, "No, there is a life here," and
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder what that does to that. There's friction now that
Yeah.
wasn't there because cults destroy families. It's not just
Yeah.
the people in the cult; it is everybody else.
This reminded me so much of, did you see the Sarah Lawrence cult situation?
Yes. Oh, that
This had a
was
lot
scary.
of those vibes with the family of, I think they were an Asian American family, and they were like immigrants, and their 3 kids were in the cult. And
Yep.
eventually, like, they reunite with them, but it's not what you think. Like, it's not easy, it's not clean, you know what I mean? It's tough. And
And it's
they did the same thing. Like, they just waited for that phone to ring for those kids to come out. Like, what could you do?
oh, that was so oh my god.
That guy
That
was a
was
creeper.
that guy sucked.
Mm.
Um, so that guy sucked. Yeah, go figure. A man
He's a bad
being
guy.
terrible.
Bad guy.
I don't not yeah, but it's really interesting looking up what has come out after
Oh, yeah. So what did
about
you find? So
this.
I saw the video that Miranda put out saying basically, like, my parents and my sister have put my life in danger with this. And I'm getting threats, and I don't know why they're doing this. It's one-sided, blah blah blah. But can you expand on that a little bit?
So that's really like her main message is that like it's now unsafe for her and her husband to live, and they're getting threats of people who are like, I'm gonna take you in my car. And it's like,
Yeah.
hey guys, if you're threatening someone in a cult that you're gonna take them away and save them, like this is not how to do this
Yeah,
is not how
no.
to help
No.
people.
No.
I I have no doubt that I it's interesting the impetus for the documentary because clearly the documentary is not going to come out and Miranda is going to be see the light. That's not going to
Right.
happen because
Right.
Robert is already telling the story
Yeah.
that he needs them to believe
Yeah.
about it. So I'm not surprised by her reaction. I'm interested to see what does this change, if anything,
Well,
for the cult? There's more
there's more
attention to
scrutiny
it,
on it. Yes.
but is that actually going to lead to anything? I really don't know how you get these people out. I really don't know if it's just going to have to be one of those things eventually where it's like, this I'd rather go to hell than what I'm in right now.
Yeah, I don't know, because even if, let's just play out the scenario that, the feds burst in and they arrest Robert right there and take him out. Then does he become the persecuted leader? You know what I mean? Does that make him a martyr for the
I
cause? And then they
I think it's
ramp
going to
up.
be really hard to deconstruct them.
Yeah.
Even if he gets arrested. And I have to imagine, even if his number 2 is no longer there, there's gotta be someone. I have no
Mhm,
doubt
mhm.
that they have a plan for if that actually does come to fruition. I I'm not surprised by Miranda's reaction. I'm sad about it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sad because I think the only thing that might be able to change this, and the only thing that might allow the Wilkings to actually live a life
Mhm,
with their daughter who's in communication with them,
mhm.
is to cut her off. Like, sometimes, like, you have to do that, and I don't have
Yeah,
older kids. So, like, I
yeah,
can't even really speak to that in that way. I can't imagine having to do it myself. But my children are still at the age where they're very dependent on me. So seeing them as fully separate entities
right,
going out into the world is not where we're
right.
at yet. We're
But
preparing for
you
that.
do come almost to this point where, and this, I think this is what I was trying to say before and I couldn't really articulate it, is when do you have to cut one child off to protect the other?
Yes, and that's what I was thinking. What
Mhm.
is this wedding going to turn into all about,
Well, they
you
had the
know,
wedding.
"Oh, they had where was I?"
They had the wedding, and she was there, but she's not in any of the pictures, and there was no video,
Oh,
but she was
but
there.
and how much of that day, though, ended up being about
I
if
know,
her sister was gonna be there?
I know,
And what if, she gets pregnant and has a kid, and now is it gonna be all about
I know.
it's almost it feels so cruel to say, but I don't you're just enabling this if you
Right.
keep allowing her to set the tone because it's totally switched now.
Yeah.
Now that they have her, she has all the control now. They had control for a while with that Instagram live. They really had more control.
So
And Robert knew exactly what they needed in order to back off.
I think what would make it hard for me, the sticking point, if you will, for me, because I could see that, I could see a justification for that, cutting one off to protect and support the other one. But what I would keep hearing in my head is Melanie saying she's in danger. And like knowing that the sexual assault is probably happening or could happen. I don't know that I could walk away from that.
Yeah, that would be very I don't
That's
disagree
the
with you.
like, if it was just a cult, right? If he was exploiting them financially, whatever, maybe I could do that. But there's this whole element of, is she being sexually abused? Is she being raped? Is she being
I
I don't
think
know if I could do that.
I I think perhaps, and this is just another way of looking at it, that by actually cutting her off and continuing to do the work,
Mhm.
will you get her in a safer situation sooner? You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, does this allow it to continue for longer? And
Yeah.
by doing
I
the
understand you're perpetuating the cycle.
and that's so hard
Yeah.
because there's no right answer and it's icky and it's gross and it's yeah, this is an interesting documentary because
It
it's not just
is.
about a cult. It's about the way young people and the gig economy is just not prepared
No.
for real life and the way kids are not prepared and the fact that 18, 19, 20-year-olds are still kind of kids,
Yeah.
they don't have their frontal lobe is not fully formed
No.
and just the impact it has on the people on the outside and really the Wilking story became super fascinating to me when you
Yes.
started to see a shift
Yeah.
from Melanie.
And this could be an issue where I'm a huge fan of boundaries, where there just needs to be better boundaries. You
Yep.
know what I mean? In
But
some way, I don't know what
they are
yeah.
so
They're
afraid of
so afraid of
saying
losing her.
anything,
Yeah.
and they just have to be okay with it. They just have to be okay with it, and they're not and these videos,
But it
they
doesn't
do
feel
look
real,
like
right? It
they
doesn't
look like
feel
hostages.
authentic. It
They look like
doesn't yeah,
hostages.
it feels fake.
It
I don't
is.
know.
It is all fake. It
So
is
is
so fake.
so is having a fake relationship, like, is that worth, like, that's not a real relationship that you're having.
I feel like for them, it's probably, "Oh, we can see proof of her that
Yeah.
she is quote unquote okay, even though she is clearly talking
Right.
in
Do you
a
need to set
very
up a
weird."
situation where you have her email you a picture every day of her
Yeah,
holding the
that's what we need, a
paper?
newspaper.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
her eyes. I mean, even when you watch the TikToks, her earlier TikToks with her sister versus the new ones,
Oh, totally different person.
it's a totally different person.
Mhm.
She is not there.
Mhm.
So they don't even have their daughter when they have their daughter.
And something we didn't even touch on, and we don't really have time to get too deep into this, but is the access social media gives people to our children.
Yep.
Like, this
Yeah, it
guy's
sure
still out
does.
there, still doing this.
Yep, out in broad daylight. And how soon till sponsorships start coming back because the story dies
Yeah.
down and
Yeah.
whatever. I love to see, I think Concrete ends up dancing in Beyonce's tour.
Yes.
And
Yes, I think it's
I
Concrete,
was
yeah.
so
I
happy
love
for him.
Concrete.
Concrete and Marquis. Marquis is
Yes.
hands down
Yes.
my MVP for best friend around. He said, "I'm gonna come get you. I got a baseball bat.
Yep.
And I am not afraid to
I'll
use
beat the
it.
fuck out of anyone who gets between us.
I will smash that
And I
car
would
that's
feel
trying to
safe
block
with
us
him.
in."
I would feel safe with him.
Marquis.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a Marquis.
Marquis. My friend, thank you so much for doing this with me.
This was lovely.
Let's tell everybody about our project.
Oh, yes, let's do it.
Okay.
We're starting a cult.
We're starting a cult.
We're going to need your blank checks right now.
Mm-hmm. So Meredith and I got together recently and recorded, and some of you may have seen it. I think a lot of you saw it already. Us obsessing over Stevie Nicks staring a hole through Lindsey Buckingham.
Specifically, the 1997 performance of Silver Springs, recorded at Burbank on May 23rd, 1997.
Yes. And we released it on May 23rd, 2024.
Because we're iconic.
Yes. So we decided that we enjoyed doing that so much, just kind of talking about these viral moments or these sticky pop culture moments that are in the zeitgeist, that we're going to do it again. And we're calling it Obsessables. There's a Substack. I'm going to throw the link in the show notes here.
Woo!
And by the time you guys hear this, the Stevie Nicks one will have dropped on its new home.
Yes.
Which is substack.com/obsessables.
Obsessables.substack.com. I'm pretty sure it'll be in the show notes. We're going to confer on that link. Yeah. It's a newer thing.
Yeah, it's a newer thing. We have a great little logo.
Amy did such a good job with our little picture. We look so cute.
Thank God for that Canva. I'll tell you.
Canva is a life.
Canva's changing my life over here.
Canva Pro makes me feel like a graphic designer. Yes. It is so good. But yes, we are re-releasing the Stevie Nicks one so that it does have a home. And hopefully we can do these, for starters, once a month or
well, we're going to do one in July, and I'm ready to announce it.
Oh, okay.
We're going to do one in July, and I'm leading this one, and it's going to be Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday to JFK. Oh,
happy birthday.
I get to talk about my man, my saucy minx JFK.
Oh my God. Give me a Kennedy bloodline. Just don't give me that RFK.
Give me a problematic Kennedy any day of the week.
Okay. Can I quickly tell you my JFK Jr. story? Or should I save it for Obsessables?
Oh, save it for Obsessables.
Okay. I feel like I just teased everyone.
Tune in.
Well, let's just say I spend summers on the Cape, and
you did.
I was there the summer that JFK Jr. died. So the fact that RFK is given away, like, hey, come win a boat ride in the Hyannis with me. I'm like, never forget Chappaquiddick. F off.
She was from near where I live.
I am not getting on a train, a plane, a boat.
No means of transportation with the Kennedys.
Getting on nothing.
Pro tip number 5. Don't get on public transportation with the Kennedys.
Do not get in a vehicle of any sort with any Kennedy. I don't care if it's that cute Jack Kennedy Schlossberg over there. And don't even get on his surfboard.
No. Don't even go near Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know why. Just don't. He's Kennedy adjacent somehow.
He is adjacent. Yes. He's married to a Shriver who is Eunice's daughter, because I know way too much about the family tree, because I read the Kennedys and Fitzgeralds as a 13-year-old, Doris Kearns Goodwin's seminal book.
My grandmother was so obsessed with the Kennedys. So obsessed.
Oh, I love it. Yes. I live for it. We're going to have so much fun. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It drops in July, and it'll be over on the Substack, which will have a link.
Yes. And here's the thing. We don't have a schedule for when these come up. We're just going to, we want this to be low stakes, you know what I mean? We want to enjoy doing it. So if you're subscribed, you'll get automatically notified when one drops.
Yep. It'll just come to your email. You don't have to look for it. I'll probably set up an RSS feed too. So if you want to listen to it, it will be fun to watch it. But if you can't, it'll be really easy to access that way. I'm really excited we're doing this. I'm excited that we're creating and exploring things in a way that is fun and low stakes. And we're not trying to create another full-time job for ourselves right now.
But we almost did. We almost ran down that road.
We were so close.
Because we're both, heads in kind of people. Like, we are. Let's go.
We are. But we have something. We have something good here.
We have something good here.
And I think we have to explore it.
We have to explore it. Yes, absolutely. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. Tell everyone where they can find your Substack.
Yes, my Substack is Meredith Constant. Wait.
Okay, I'm
Forgot
looking it up.
It is meredithconstant.substack.com. I have a weekly paid post, and I also have a free Friday newsletter to enjoy. So there is a lot of different fun stuff on there. I have some access to some stuff, so I give you some interesting royal reporting and what their briefing notes were. So it can lead to some very, very good articles. I'm over there. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, Meredith Constant. I'm either talking about royals or fashion, or I'm picking up drumsticks again because I am out of my mind.
So, did you see the video of my dad drumming at his
Oh my
birthday
God, I
party?
loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I
I come
loved
from
that.
my grandfather was a very accomplished jazz drummer. And then my dad has played drums since he's like 15.
I
Yeah.
love that so much. Yeah, I picked up sticks for the first time in 20 years. I'm not a set
So
player,
do
but
you have the electronic drums? Is that what you're doing? That's what
I just got a drum pad to start so
Okay.
I could just work on my sticking. The big thing is I learned that no one decided to teach me how to play the set left-handed, which is why I've never
Right.
been able to play the set. And then
Right.
I didn't want to do it because I wasn't good at it. So
Okay.
my band director of the jam band I'm in, because I'm having a midlife crisis at 36.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He is going to he's gonna teach me left-handed and see if I can play the set. So that'll be interesting.
Okay. All right. Well, good
I'm really
luck.
plugging this Instagram.
Good luck.
Come and see if I ever learn how to play
we
the set.
really want to watch your drumming journey.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the show, join us on Patreon, Supercast, or Apple subscriptions. Follow us on Instagram and jump in our Facebook group, Backdoor Friends. All right. We'll see you next time.